In this video, we're going to be subtracting this polynomial, and it's going to look a little bit different than when we added the polynomials. And that's because when we're subtracting, there's an extra step we got to do, because we have to distribute this negative sign to the terms that are on the inside of that second expression. Because if we fail to do so, and we don't change the signs, we're going to end up getting the wrong answer. So I want to go ahead and just remember that our first step is to distribute the negative sign. Now, when we distribute this negative, what we're going to see is, right, imagine that there is a invisible 1 that's in front of every parenthesis. So we're going to distribute this whole term, this negative 1, to 6, x squared. Now, all that happens is anytime you multiply a negative to a positive, it just turns negative. And if you ever forget that in a moment and you want to recheck it, you could always just throw it in your calculator and see. For instance, I could do negative 1 times positive 6, and it just becomes negative 6. We just have a sign change. No different than if it was negative 1 times negative 6, it would turn positive, because the sign just changes whenever we multiply by a negative. So this positive 6x squared becomes a negative 6x squared. And when I multiply negative 1 to negative 5, it then becomes a positive. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite those now underneath this existing expression. Now notice this one says negative 5x squared, so it does have a squared value, and this is a square term. So I'm going to take that negative 6x squared and write it beneath it. And then notice this next term right here, right? This is just a positive 5, right? Because we converted it, because this negative 1 changed that sign. And that positive 5, it'll line up with this positive 6. And notice we don't have a term for the x. There is no x in this second expression. So just so I can hold my place, I'm going to put in a 0x. And then I'm going to take my positive 5 and bring it over, and it becomes positive 5. I'm going to draw my line underneath it, and now I'm just going to combine my terms from top to bottom. And again, if you're not good at dealing with negative numbers, right, you can just use your calculator to help you out. So we have negative 5 plus negative 6. And when I combine that, it gives me negative 11. So this becomes negative 11x squared. And then we have 6 plus 0. So that just becomes positive 6x. And then we have 6 plus 5. And that'll give us positive 11. And this is my final answer.